Ambassador, Extraordinary Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Edwin Faseyen Sele.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Auditor General.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We'd like to know a little bit about you. This is your first ambassadorial assignment. Who is Edwin Sele?
Thank you for the wonderful visit this afternoon. I'm Edwin Sele, Liberia's ambassador to the Kingdom of Morocco. I'm a family man, married with about 5 children, and many friends have said that I'm a very hard-working person. I joined the foreign ministry in 1976 as cadet, graduated from college in 1981 from the University of Liberia, and I was seconded to our permanent mission to the United Nations in 1987 as second secretary. I worked there for about 20 years during the civil crisis, and I was also fortunate in 2008 for Excellency Mr. Edwin Sirleaf was able to send me to our embassy in Washington as Deputy Chief of Mission. Most people say Deputy Ambassador in Washington, D.C. I stayed there for 6 years, and last year I was pleased that she was again able to send me to where we are now in Rabat as Ambassador to Morocco. So I've had a little more than 3 decades of public service dedicated to government and the people of Liberia, and I'm pleased to be here with you.
I see that your entire professional life has been about kutsu and neckties. I'm sure your closet is filled with neckties. What do you enjoy doing when you take out all the diplomatic clothes with your private time? What do you do?
During my private time, I like to read. I love sports of all kinds. But for the most part, reading makes a man wiser. I like to read politics, international relations. I'm a family person. I like to be with my family. Sometimes talk with my children and relatives, even though my family is now in New York and I'm here in Rabat. I like to also read biographies of world leaders that give you some insight and intricacies about how history is and how to work. And also I like to read about romance. And as you know, the advent of the internet makes the world today a global village. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on different websites, just being curious to read and keep myself informed.
Life as a whole is full of ups and downs. What do you remember to be the most challenging thing or event of your life?
There are many. As you know, life is full of many superfluities. But I recall my assignment in New York. I went there in 1987. And the civil crisis in Liberia began in December 1989. To be specific, Christmas Eve or so. And I know my posting there was really challenging. It makes me to wonder sometimes how history is made. That our country, once a friendly country among the nations of the world, was plunged into civil crisis. And you know that better than I do. Over 200 people dead, lost property, and our entire economy, and the destruction of the country. I can never forget that. But I was pleased to be there as a foot soldier at the United Nations to work for my country, for my people. There were several ambassadors that I worked under. Ambassador William Boo, who were there at the time. It was not easy. Even to take Liberia's case to the Security Council, it was a very difficult issue to do. But we survived it. Every Liberian knows what took place. But we are pleased to be here. And unfortunately, again, you have this Ebola that have beset the country. Those two events that have occurred within the history of Liberia that really plagued our country.
Now that you mentioned the Ebola situation, how do you feel that your country is, after 14 years of civil war, when we're trying to rebuild now, we are confronted with Ebola again? Does that bother you?
Not only bother me, it should bother every Liberian. I mean, Ebola is a strange disease to the extent that right now we know there's no cure. And it's treating our country havoc way. And to the extent that you know people are dying and you cannot be of help. I look at CNN, Sky News, look at my country. The ambulance dropped someone at a treatment place, they can't even walk, they fall and die. I see the president beset with this action and the intensity of what it is, what she goes through. I mean, it's really difficult. Sometimes I wonder why Liberia. So it is a situation, it has now become an international situation. We are glad that people are coming to our aid, the international community. But it is something that we have to work to eradicate.
Liberians are being stigmatized by this thing across the world. How is the situation in Morocco?
I'm really, in the situation in Morocco here, we are very thankful. Firstly to the king and the government and all the Moroccan authorities. As they are aware, when the Ebola situation, there was an incident in Liberia, African airlines and other airlines all cut off their flights to Liberia. It was only Royal Air Morocco that has not disrupted its flights to Liberia. That tells volumes to the cordial relations that subsist between our two countries. It's very important. And when this is over, during our life post-Ebola, I hope subsequent governments will be able to remember what Morocco has done for us. Because that's the only gateway now to Liberia and the international community. So we are very thankful. They are welcoming. The foreign minister has been here. We have been able to write the government of Morocco for assistance, which they are working on. The president has been able to write to tell the king thank you of allowing the national airlines to come to Liberia, in addition to some other activities that are within the range of our bilateral relations. So I'm very pleased being here, and I'm very, very happy. Liberians should be happy with the behavior of the Moroccan people.
Let's come back to your assignment in Morocco. What kind of embassy did you inherit and where is it now?
Before my arrival, I took post in January 22, 2014. And I can tell you, and I have some colleagues sitting down here, when I met the embassy the way it was. Before my arrival, there had not been an ambassador here, almost for a decade. And this was something to the extent that somehow the embassy was neglected. But thanks to people like Mr. Sano and Soklo and other staff members that had the foot of the embassy. When I came, it was a place that was not deserving. But thank God also for a good friend like my brother here, Mr. Kubliki, who has been a partner and a friend to Liberia. The structure, the building, my office you see today has been renovated solely by him as a friend of Liberia. I'm sure that he has almost put in the renovation about more than 60,000 US dollars in terms of construction, workmanship, and today our embassy is a first-rate embassy. I know I work in New York and Washington, D.C.
Is that a loan or is there a precondition for that?
It is not a loan. He did it as a friend of Liberia.
Oh.
And these are the kind of people we need. This renovation has taken place without a cost of penny to the government of Liberia. He has done this with some other friends, 1, 2, 3 persons helping. We're just grateful for a man like him that will be able to do this. I came, he met me, I told him, look, see the building. You know, diplomacy is very expensive. It's about image building, and you need to make sure that when people visit the embassy of the Republic of Liberia, they must give that image that we are serious about what we do here.
Are there challenges you face here that the public needs to know about?
Like in all human events, there are challenges, particularly given our civil crisis that we went through 14 years, and also the question of Ebola now. So we know that the government is now all focused on the situation for Ebola. We are not complaining. We are not complaining. There are many things that should be done. Now I don't even have a card, a representation card. But I don't worry about that. When I came, I was worried about the embassy. We have now have a fabulous facelift of the embassy. And the material things can be there. We know that the government has all these constraints. We have to be understanding. We did that during the Civil War. We worked sometimes to the detriment of our own families, but we continue to work. That's patriotism, love of country. I know you cannot take patriotism to the supermarket or to eat, but you have to serve. If we don't do so, nobody else will do. So there are challenges all over, but we are managing together as a team to make sure that this embassy can be here for the interest of the government and people of Liberia.
There were people here managing the embassy for, like you said, almost 10 years or a little more before you came. Usually people would prefer that they would take over. Has there been any problem with you and the staff? How is the reception?
Well, since my arrival, I can say I have a very excellent relationship with my staff. Even before I came, they worked with me when I was in Liberia, in the United States. They were able to find a residence. They were able to make sure that things, the question of agreement for me, all that we went through. And Mr. Sano has been the charge here, as I said, for almost 10 years. And I came in our history, or the way the foreign ministry operates, when you are chargé somewhere and an ambassador is appointed, many times that chargé goes back to a different assignment. But before I came, I said it's important that I meet him there. My country people say, you sow new mat or old mat. It's important that I work with him. He tells me what is to be done, what is here. He knows the Arabic language, speaks French, and my other colleagues here. So we have had no problem. We are working together. My leadership style is I dedicate, we work together. Let the job be done. As long as the job is done, I have no problem with it. I have not employed any of the people that I met here. And we are working together.
2-3 years down the road, where do you hope to see this embassy in terms of the work you do?
You know, Morocco is a very important country now in Africa. I know you came here for a meeting. The 7-8 months that I've been here, Morocco has emerged as an important country in Africa. The infrastructure, in world affairs, in African affairs, even though they are not legally a member of the African Union. But the things to do, the bilateral relationship between our two countries, which stems back way in the 60s, when the two countries represented Liberia, the African continent at the Security Council. And you may remember before the establishment of the OAU, which is the AU now, they had the Casablanca group, they had the Monrovia group. So we have collaborated over time. And in recent time, we have had bilateral agreements in the area of education. And talking about education since 1987, there has been a Liberian-Moroccan bilateral scholarship established, where many of our students are studying in medicine, engineering, you call it. So there's so much to gain from Morocco that I can tell you. Today we have bilateral agreements in energy, in agriculture, in transportation, tourism. All those things have to be harnessed. In fact, as we speak, we're supposed to be having a joint commission this month, but because of the Ebola situation, that could not take place. We are preparing to do that, where we can be able to review the entire relationship in ways so that it can mutually benefit both parties. So Morocco is here to help. We can help each other, but I think I work in the States for about 25 years. If we can play our cards right, I'm telling you now, Morocco will be the #1 country that will be able to help us, and we can work together. And I thank God that the president was able to appoint me to come here. It is a place that the question of soft cooperation, we can be able to make use of that. And because of our foresight and the love and cordial bilateral relation between the two countries, Liberia today is seen here in Morocco as one of the important countries.
Has the current president ever been to this country as president?
No, I'm not aware that whether she had visited Morocco, but not as president. In fact, during the joint commission that was proposed, I was one of the things that I was supposed to discuss. When I presented my letter of credence to the king, he told me to work hard and be ready and prepared to go to Liberia. That's how much. And when I came and took my post, it took only 2 weeks. My colleagues tell me that usually it takes about 9 months, 8 months, or a year. An ambassador is in Morocco until about that much before they present their letters of credence. And I only took 3 weeks. That tells the level of esteem with which the king holds Madam Sirleaf and the relationship that is between the two countries. So I can tell you that Morocco is ready, and I think we'll be able to do well here. We hope that all the issue of the Ebola can go away, so we can quickly get to the business of our relationship.
The Moroccan economy is big and prosperous. What are you doing to attract investment to Liberia from here?
Morocco, I can tell you, I'm so eager to work, and I'm sorry that the Ebola situation has interrupted our zeal in the sense. Morocco is an African country, but I think is a developed country. The infrastructure and what they're able to do, you go from Rabat down towards what you would call Tangier and other parts of the country. Like at home, if you left Monrovia to go to Banjama and Kolaman, development starts right to go in Monrovia. For Morocco, as you live further from the capital, things are even better in terms of improvement infrastructure. This is what I like. It is very important. They are now today #1 in tourism, which we can benefit from, in the area of energy, in the area of road construction, in agriculture. As much as they have desert around all that, but you go around, you see all the agricultural activities. They are #1 today, and they are willing to help us in those areas. Fishery, there's so much we can get from this country. And I think the sky is the limit as far as we are concerned, and the receptivity that we have received in this place, in this country, and the eagerness that they want to work with us. I think it will be better.
Are there, by your official account, how many Liberians are in this country registered with the embassy?
We are undertaking to have a database of Liberians residing in Morocco. My estimate, most people say about 600 Liberians are here. Some of them are legally married to Moroccan citizens and having Moroccan family. And if you include the students, the students now last year that were enrolled in various colleges within this country, and we have the student enrollment about at 128 students that are studying various universities and disciplines. So there are about 600 people, 600 Liberians. I was able to meet them, meet the first session of them, July 24th, sometime 2 months ago.
What problems do they present to the embassy as problems they are facing here?
Most of the problem is about immigration status. As you know, after the Liberian civil conflict or during the conflict, Liberians travel all around the world. And so when Morocco was is one of those places where Liberians came. But one of the problems they have is that they don't have documents. Some of them came from different places before coming to Morocco. So it is so important that the king has, now Moroccan authorities have said if you have stayed in the country for about 5 years, they can be able to give you legal status so that you can be able perhaps maybe earn something and live here legally. So the problem has been immigration. But one of the problems is also that most of the people that are here, they don't have skills. They don't have the kind of sophistication or education to see they can be able to work in places and that. But we are working together. We are trying to regularize them. We are trying to have a database. And now they have embraced us because, as they told me before, the embassy was not this way. And that they are pleased with the development and facelift that we have brought to this country.
In terms of behavior, is there any problem that Liberians are creating for the embassy, spoiling our image, criminal activities, all that, BM?
Well, before I came, I learned about the BM situation. The way to me BM works, money laundering, sometimes it works better in an environment where people don't know about how these things happen. But because this has been on radio, on TV, and all around, the situation is going on. And we are talking to our brothers and sisters there. We don't want to be known that way. We have to have or engage our people, our partners here constructively. If we are not able to live here, I tell them we are all ambassadors of Liberia. If you do BM and money laundering, most people will think, oh, this is what Liberians do. And they are understanding that the whole question is being down now. I don't have that problem anymore in a way. And that the embassy has that image. And to the extent now that Liberians are coming and they are very proud of their embassy. So I tell them, look, whoever was doing that or whatever it is, that's not the best way to live. You should be able to have a protection and earn a living. And people are trying to do that. They're working on their immigration problems. They are understanding that we mean well and we continue to behave.
Do you know of any Liberian in jail for criminal activities?
I do not know of any now that are in jail, but I heard before there were, Liberians, 1 or 2, 3, maybe, that were in prison. But one of the reasons Liberians come here, they are here in transit to go to Europe. And most African, countries, do that. Morocco is the closest to Europe. They come here, some people stay, almost die to make sure they can cross over to Europe. But what I tell them, excuse me, I tell them is that, why do you want to go to Europe? If you don't have skills, European countries have their own problem. Even in Morocco here, people are not going to employ you if you don't know anything. Moroccans are worried about their own people, to be employed. So we have our country there. You can have go to vocational school and do something and return and be part of the citizenry to the extent to help develop the country. So this is very important.
You are a veteran diplomat, and you will agree with me that honorary consuls general play key roles in attracting investment and doing things like what this man did for your embassy. Do you have an honorary consul general in Morocco?
You know, he has been a long-time friend of Liberia. And as you know, I did during the time of Mrs. Sirleaf, because the way honorary consuls were behaving, everybody was relieved of their post until you prove his son. So since my coming, what he has been able to do for the country, I tell him, Mrs. Sirleaf, like, there's nothing wrong having an honorary consul. But you have to do something in the interest of the country that you represent, so that you can't just be there for your own self. And what he has done in building this image, the renovation that he has undertaken on his own, I told him I intend to make the relevant representation to government. Perhaps he deserves that position. He is someone that I think really loves the country, even though he refused to accept that he has not done this for anything. And this is why it is because of his love for the country. He has been in Liberia before, but I think he would make a wonderful honorary consul general, that we can be a team together to be able to bring about direct investment in Liberia, having potential investors to go to the country. And I think this is why he would do well. He's a businessman, he's well established. I think he has the largest aluminum factory in the country. And with that kind of stuff, we want people who can do best for us. We are about development, we are about the interests of Liberia. So at the right time, with this work, I think we'll make the proper representation. He deserves it.
All right. As soon as the Ebola situation calms down, Liberia will be holding its first midterm senatorial election. I know you represent Liberia, but you come from a county in Liberia. You come from Lofa. That used to be the biggest county in Liberia. Do you support anybody for the senatorial race in your county? If so, who's that? Who's that lucky person?
I've been out of the country for long. To the United States, now Morocco. I've been busy trying to help government, help the president, particularly this Ebola time, find resources. How can we do to help eradicate that problem? I think suffice to say that the question of supporting someone who should be senator, I want to leave that with the people that are currently living in the country. Because I'm not there to really make an analytic review of what X has done or has not done. So I really not seeing here that I'm supporting specific person.
You worked very hard during the last election in Lofa, and all of the people who have registered so far to run for the Senate in Lofa are people you know. You don't need any other time to know which one of them is good for your county. And your people depend on people like you to guide them in decision making when it comes to selecting leaders. Are you not disappointing them by this refusal to?
I'm not refusing
to endorse a candidate?
It's not a disappointment, but at the moment you endorse somebody. I worked 2011 hard to elect Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Honorable Parker, President and Vice President. We did that, and we are pleased to have done that for the Liberian people. because we know what these two people stand. So as a result now, particularly, I've now visited the country, I'm now in Liberia, I'm busy, worried about this Ebola situation. I want to leave the whole senatorial election and stuff with the people on the ground who know the people very well that are running. And I don't want to just up the cuff say I want Mr. X to be senator. I'm not in that position. I study politics. I know what election is. It's important for those that are on the ground to make that decision, who have seen people work, who have earned either to be re-elected or not, or new people coming. Let the people on the ground decide that.
Professor Kupi has been senator for your county for the past 9 years. You know him. He's running again. Any thoughts about him?
Oh, Mr. Kupi, but I've not gone in Lopa to the extent to know what he has done as a senator. As you know, I am a foreign service officer. I've lived away from Liberia almost going to 26 years. So I'm not in that position to tell the people of Lopa that this person should be the one. I've not followed that politics to the extent. And it's not that I refuse. And this is a country that I love so much. I love my people.
All politics is local. You are Bandi. Joseph Jala is Bandi. He's running for the Senate.
Well, yes, Joseph Jala is a brother, is a friend. I wish you well, but I'm not there to vote. What can I say? I wish him very well. I mean, I hope he can do well, and all of the candidates.
Okay, let's leave the other people because it looks like you're not ready to choose anybody yet. One time you tried to run for the presidency of Liberia. 2017, President Sele. Does that make any sense?
Oh my God. I mean, yes, I toured with the idea of presidency in 2005. I was supporting Dr. Maniba.
That was after you decided not to run again.
No. Before.
Okay.
2000, when Dr. Maniba decided to run.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of those that was helping to work in his campaign. And he tragically died on Thanksgiving Day in the United States, in Michigan, in 2004. So after his death, our party, the Liberian National Union Party, decided that, this was just a dagger that hit the party, LINA. And they have seen him work so hard in putting things together, and so there was this idea that, look, the party has to be represented. And also the question of the election in 2005, you may wish to know that I was a senior diplomat at the United Nations, at the Permanent Mission of Liberia, that drafted the General Assembly resolution and negotiated with member states for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of Liberia. In that resolution, we were able to say that a national election where the people will be able to decide as to who should be president of Liberia, and this was during the time of the interim government. It will be a nice thing, it will be a unifying thing. And that resolution was adopted unanimously. This is how the question of election in 2005 took place. And I felt that I was so involved in this, maybe I should be able, that opportunity was there. But I was defeated in the LINA primary in Grand Bazaar 2005. That was in May. So our candidate was Mr. John Molu, the senior. And I was supporting John Molu until the election took place. During this, the second, what do you call we did not have a winner when Mr. Sirleaf and Opong went together as runner. I had to make a decision as who to support. And I knew then that for Liberia, the country that I love and work for, Mr. Sirleaf was the best candidate. And the Unity Party ticket, Honorable Waka as Vice President, I felt that Liberia had the best hope. And since then, I have been supporting the Unity Party. So the question of me, I'm flattered if you ask me whether I'm interested, I will be interested in doing this everything. For now, I really believe that I should be able to help in my position here to see how the Sirleaf can end on time, how I can be able to contribute to the development project, to this question of Ebola. How can we be able to make sure that it's eradicated? I'm not even thinking about election.
Is LINA still alive, your party?
The party is there, but I do not know really, as I've been out of the country, what they are doing right now. I've not been very involved in that kind of politics. I've been supporting the Unity Party ticket since then. So the question of me looking at 2017, I'm not even thought about it. It's not important to me now because the position I'm in, I think I should be able to help the president. I should be able to do something to help the country. And whatever Morocco can be able to contribute to this menace that's taking place in Liberia, that's my concern right now.
Last question on LINA. Harry F. Moneyba, Bandi. Edwin F. Sele, Bandi. John Molu, Bandi. Is it a tribal club or a political party?
I don't want to say tribal club. I don't think so. It was the question now.
Most of the people inside are Bandi.
Yes, I mean, unfortunately it's that way. But when Dr. Moneyba established that party, it was not established as a tribal party. Most people have believed that Dr. Moneyba would do well.
Is there any other key person from another tribe or any other county?
At the moment, right now, I am not aware. I'm not aware because after my defeat in the primary 2005, I just went towards the Unity Party, even though I didn't register officially, but I've always supported the ticket.
Has the Unity Party justified your support?
I think so. Where we came from after the civil conflict, from 2006 until the Ebola situation, the development, what that ticket did, what Mr. Sele did, I think is a difference between day and night. Bringing, restoring security, the question of the economy, we have about 17 billion worth of investment. She brought huge international gravitas to the country. Besides the Ebola situation, today, I know there's the problem of Ebola, but Liberians are free to talk and say anything. I think that's huge in a developing country. You come from Monrovia or you come from Liberia. The press, people say whatever they want to say. And people were given the opportunity, or are given the opportunity to talk, to do things. There are developments. And after the war, when we destroy everything that we have, almost went into extinction. I think Mr. Sirleaf and Parker and the government had to revive and rekindle our hope into the concept of Liberia, what the founding fathers made. It's unfortunate that the gains that were achieved have been undermined by this unique, strange, and devastating sickness. But I think credit must be given to Mrs. Sirleaf and Parker. I have no regrets whatsoever.
Do you think Dr. Bouakai has justified the succession to succeed the president when she leaves at the end of her term?
I think in our history of vice president, beside Talbot, I think Robert Bouakai has been a team player, has worked well with the president, who unassuming, will work hard in the background. He's an honest man. He has worked hard. It's difficult to be a vice president. And I think in our Liberian setting, when everything is said and done, Liberian people should be able to reward him if he were to run to be president of the Republic of Liberia. I think he would do well.
Some people like to stay in public service until they die. Where is Edwin Sele different? Do you intend to remain in government service until you die, or you have retirement plans?
Well, you know, our business of work right now, as an ambassador, I work to the pleasure of the president.
But you have the choice to refuse.
Yes, I have the choice to refuse right now. This is a very critical time.
No, you're still young. I'm not worried about this assignment.
Well, at some point I look forward to return to Lofa, maybe make palm wine or make my coffee farm. I have family farm there and all these things.
Do you have any skill in country work?
I cleared palm trees, I did everything, I made farm. I was into Monrovia, maybe 1970 or so. I was in the bush. I'm also a tailor. My father was a professional tailor. So I know about farming. I've been able to climb in the trees and in palm trees. I used to do that in order to help my mother and family to send me to school. So I know about tilling the soil. I know about that. So when I return or whatever tomorrow I decide to do, I mean, the best thing is to go back home and be of help to my people.
Your children know Lofa?
I took them to the United States since 1987. And they really, when I adopted, my youngest was 4 years when he arrived in the United States. And all of them are college graduates today and have stayed live in the United States. So they might not know Lofa, but I've always talked about Lofa in Liberia because I live in that Liberia.
Is there anything we left out that you would like to cover?
I want to tell you thank you for the opportunity. Because many times you work, people don't have the opportunity to know what you do. I have been a foreign service officer since 1987 and have been a foot soldier in all the developments, whether the United Nations, whether it was the question of reconstruction and rehabilitation of Liberia, I was involved. Whether you talk about the question of peace building, UNMIL, going to Liberia, we were involved. The question of raising the sanction on Liberia, we were involved in that. Even the question of partnership between the U.S. and Liberia. Mr. Sirleaf signed with Secretary Clinton. All that were involved, we are both soldiers. So I'm thankful to have been given the opportunity to work, to do something for my people. You know, somebody told me, my father always said that, riches are not bank accounts. And I have nothing today. But you are blessed when you have friends. When you can be able to do something and have an achievement to look upon. That we're able to, in the 90s, to revive the nation state of Liberia with other people at the UN. I look upon that an election was held in Liberia, that I was the one that drafted and negotiated that resolution under the ambassadorial supervision of Landing Cover and others that work at the UN. I should give them credit. So I'm fortunate, and I'm here working, making new friends for Liberia. Today, this embassy is, I can say, one of the best in terms of the physical structure. I work in New York and in Washington. And today I'm proud that we sit here. You know, you have been in the States, you understand. So I just want to say thank you and to tell the president thank you. I see you are working so hard when I look at CNN, Star News, about this whole question of Ebola, the intensity you see from her face, the work she is doing. She has not left the country more than 2 months, just engaged with the people. I think that's wonderful. That we'll be able to, fight and get Ebola away from Liberia with the help of the international community. So I've been blessed and asked for good health, and we'll continue to do this. Because this is what I know, to help my people. Thank you.
Look in the camera and talk to your country people about Ebola. What do you feel about what they are going through today?
I know you have asked me to talk to my compatriots about the situation of Ebola. Fellow Liberians, we went through 14 years of civil conflict. That passed. And now we are being visited by a strange disease that is today killing our people. This is very regrettable. And sometimes I think, why is this happening to Liberia after the civil conflict? For us Liberians, we are resilient people. I will urge that we work together. Ebola is real. And some of the problem has been that we live in denial about Ebola. We have to accept it's real and take the necessary precautions. Ebola was in Zaire before. They were able to get rid of it. We too, I think, can be able to do that. With our resilience, with the desire to live together, we should be able to take the necessary precautions to make sure we resist contamination, all that we need to do, so that it cannot be affected by this, dreadful disease. I think it's a matter of time. We now have the support of the international community. I know our health sector has been overwhelmed. We are rebuilding. Even the little gains are not being taken away. I think we have a leader that is leading this fight. Mr. Sirleaf, I know I'm away from Liberia. I see the news. I see how intense she has been involved with this fight. I think together, let's lay our political differences, whatever they may be, but there's a need to save the very fabric of our nation, so that the promise of Liberia, that the forefathers meant to bring the nation together, that it will be a beacon of black people. That is stay out to be done. We can do it. Let's work together. This too, Ebola shall pass. And I thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Sir, nice meeting you. My name is Nagbe Sloh. I'm from Liberia. I'm a journalist. I would like to know you.
أولا مرحبا بك في وطنك الثاني المغرب. أنا أبو الثقة سمير، القنصل الفخري لدولة ليبيريا في المغرب.
Thank you.
شكرا.
I heard the ambassador talking a lot of good things about what you've been able to do for Liberia, renovating our embassy and all of that. What drives you to do all of this? Is there any hidden agenda?
والله لا توجد يعني أجندة معينة لهذا العمل، فقط أنا أحس في داخل نفسي أنني كذلك ليبيري، لست فقط قنصل فخري ولكنني ليبيري، ومن دافع الغيرة لدولة ليبيريا فأنا أريد أن أرى الأشياء جميلة وبالمستوى الذي تمثله ليبيريا في قلبي فقط.
If the job was re-offered to you, will you take it?
هذا سيكون شرف لي أنا أكثر يعني، يعني أكثر من فخر سيكون كذلك بالنسبة إلي رد الاعتبار لدولة ليبيريا، لأنني أنا أحس بنفسي ليبيريا أكثر من الليبيريين نفسهم.
The country you love so much is, I would call it your second home, Liberia. It's being torn apart now by this Ebola disease. What does that mean anything to you? Does that concern you?
سأكون يعني غير صادق إن قلت لك أنني لا أحس بنفس الإحساس الذي يحسون به الليبيريين. المشكل ليس جغرافي محدود على دولة ليبيريا أكثر ما هو يمس إفريقيا بمجملها، فحتى إذا لم يكن لدي إحساس ليبيري فلدي إحساس إفريقي وهو انتماء العام لدينا جميعا.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for all of the work that you have done to make our country's image beautiful to the outside world. All of the work you did in the embassy here, we appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
هذا شيء بسيط. شكرا.
All right.
Merci.
Nice meeting you, sir. What's your name?
I'm Philip Sokol.
How long you been here?
3.5 years now. I was transferred from Libya
Oh,
to Morocco.
okay, 2011. Okay. So how you find the new ambassador?
Well, very dynamic, hard working.
Is it because he's standing here?
No, we are found
Okay. Nice meeting you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you very much. Thanks for all you do for your country.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
This is the third secretary office.
Wow.
Yes.